Hello, Facebook Live. What's happening, everybody? Marcus here. Good morning. It's Friday the 15th today, I think. The 15th, yeah. Ionized water. By the way, we give away ionized water for free. Just stop down, bring a jug, and we'll fill you up with high antioxidant, electron-rich, micro-clustered water, free of charge. It's community service. High-quality water is something you always need. So it's Friday morning. Busy day here at Roman time. This is probably one of our busiest grocery days of the week. Today, people are stocking up. Bread alone just delivered a ton of fresh bread here. So we have a lot of fresh bread here ready to rock and roll. You can actually buy, the bread alone bread is great because you can buy extra bread and put it in the freezer. So you don't need to consistently buy bread every, twice a week or every week from them if you want to stock up, if you have room in your freezer. So that's the one cool thing about their bread. The other thing is their bread really won't last the whole week because there's no preservatives and brominated flour, no brominated flour and dough conditioners in it. So after a week, but the nice thing is you can revive their bread very easily by putting it into the oven, refreshing it. It is amazing. It freezes very well. So a lot of bread alone bread just came in today. Every Tuesday and Friday, baguettes come in and they're whole wheat miche. There was a little confusion with some of the bread alone bread. On their website, they have their miche listed and they have their whole wheat sourdough. It's the same bread, folks. They might have changed it because I spoke to somebody there 2 weeks ago because a guest called me and was like, what's the difference between these? I'm like, it's the same bread. They're like, no, it's not. Their website says this and their website says that. And I went on and their website did have it listed under two different names under two different items. And when I called them, I said, this is really confusing. I thought, they go, no, Marcus, it is the same. We're dropping the word miche and we're going with whole wheat sourdough, and we didn't update the whole website completely. That's why the whole loaves said miche and the slice said sourdough, whole wheat sourdough. So they said they were going to update it, so there was no confusion. So that's the story with that. If you've ever had any questions on the miche and this whole wheat sourdough, it is the same bread from bread alone. I'm going to talk about olive oil this morning. How to buy the best olive oil and not get scammed. Olive oil is one of those things that there are a bunch of companies out there that are selling fake, adulterated olive oil that is just overpriced hazelnut or other kind of oils.
You want to show?
Oh, Jamie's making the things for tonight.
For dessert tonight. The bourbon,
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow,
Bourbon.
Saturday.
Tomorrow night we're doing a bourbon and blues nights.
You want to show them the?
Yeah, Jamie's making some. I guess you really can't see
really
it.
see
I got the phone on a tripod. So what is it? A walnut chocolate?
Walnut chocolate, bourbon, maple syrup.
Tartlets, right?
Yeah.
Little
so
tartlets.
I made my own.
Tartlets.
Made my own dough this morning.
So that's for tomorrow night, our bourbon and blues. So back to olive oil. Olive oil is very easy to get scammed. The easiest way, if you want to get scammed on olive oil, go to a mainstream grocery store right now. Go buy one of those 3 liters that's like $25 of olive oil that has some name on it, like Bertolli, for example, something like that, and take that home and use it, and you're going to get scammed. The stuff that's in there is not real extra virgin olive oil. True extra virgin olive oil costs a lot more than $25 for 3 liters. And I'm going to talk all about that here in a couple of moments. Before I jump into that, the bourbon and blues, which Jamie was just talking about, 25 or 45. We give you all the stuff to make a Manhattan. Jamie's Rye Manhattan. Peter Peabody will be on. He is the producer of Peabody Whiskey. And he'll be on talking about his whiskeys. We will be having music and food. If you do food, it's 45. If not food, 20. Without food, 25. And we give you all the bottles set up, so you get a bourbon tasting, a rye tasting, and then a little kit to make a Manhattan with the filthy cherries, those imported Italian cherries without corn syrup and without all those food colorings. So those are the cherries you get. Couple new things that just came in before we jump into olive oil. We got these cool Portuguese wines, really awesome Portuguese wines, insane. Again, none of our wines are more than $14.99 that are on the table here. Prosecco is $18 or $19.99, and there's one other wine that's $19.99 because the $19.99 one on our list is literally 60 bucks. So it's down to $19.99. But every other wine out here, folks, $14.99. That's what's on our list, on our table here when you walk in. So I got 2 new Portuguese wines in. I got 3 new Portuguese wines in. 1 Portuguese wine's almost already gone. We got 5 cases earlier in the week, and it's almost gone already. We just got the Bartolino Rosé from Zenato. Zenato, our friends up at Zenato Winery up in Valpolicella. This is just south of Lake Garda. Sermone, Lake Garda, which is, Lake Garda is the largest lake in Italy. It gets a lot of tourists every year. Germany, Austria, all of the tourists come to to Lake Garda. It's an amazing lake. I've been there several times. It is where Valpolicella is. On the other side, going up, is Bartolino, and then it goes into, this is where Amarone is from. Amarone is from the east coast side of Lake Garda, but between Lake Garda and the mountains where you make Amarone and Valpolicella, where they make, there's a little flat plain there that gets all this heat that comes off of Lake Garda, and it's more of a tropical climate, and you notice things that are there because it's a microclimate. I think they grow kiwis there. They grow a lot of tropical fruits there. They grow citrus fruits. This is up in northern Italy. They grow citrus fruits. The Buddhist hand. A lot of types of citrus grow up there. So it's kind of like this microclimate off the lake. So Bartolino is the district that's from. So if you can see Bartolino. Anytime you see a wine from Bartolino, that's the area. And Bartolino is the east side of Lake Garda. It gets the wind, it gets the heat, it has a microclimate. And then just past these flat plains are the mountains, where you have Valpolicella, where you have Negrar, just south of Verona. And then you have these beautiful mountains that make some amazing Amarones, Valpolicellas. Some amazing wines come from there. And then the further you go east, you hit where Soave comes from. It's about a half an hour drive from there. More down the highway is where Soave, the famous Soaves, come from. Soaves, I love Soave. Soave is one of my favorite Italian wines. Soaves had a bad name for many years because a lot of cheap Soaves are out there, and they flooded the markets, Bola, with all these cheap Soaves. But once you, again, on the bottom of the valley in Soave, where Soave is grown, the bottom of the valley is where all the cooperatives exist, and they make the very cheap and expensive Soaves. But once you start going up the mountain range, into the mountains, the mountain vineyards, there is some mind-blowing Soave. I mean, people who dislike Soave, we've turned them into major fans. So that's all in that region. Bartolino, Valpolicella, just north of Verona, Lake Garda. Been there several times, and I can't wait to go back there. We just got the Poli, Gran, Bassano, Rosso, and Bianco vermouths. And that is, if you drive another hour, from there, you'll hit Bassano. Bassano is the capital of Grappa. Nardini's been there since 1700s, 8 generations. Poli's been there a very long time. Those are the 2 main grapperias, the distilleries in Bassano, that have put Bassano on the map for Grappa. So tonight's $9.99 takeout is the Thai peanut chicken. We also have our full menu. Our grocery list is getting emailed out in a few minutes here. As soon as I get done with the live, I'm going to press send and send out our full grocery list there. But I want to talk about olive oil, because olive oil is so easy to get scammed on, folks. By the way, when you're just drop a comment if you're tuning in now, hashtag live if you're tuning in, or on the replay, hashtag replay if you're tuning in on the replay. I see Cheryl on, I see Steven on, I see Michael on. Hi, Michael. Laura's on, Barbara's on. Hi, Jack. So just drop a comment of where you're tuning in from, and then I'm going to talk about some olive oil. Let's see, I'm going to see if I can see some comments here. We're still open, HV. Thanks for commenting. Olive oil is my favorite topic. I'm just looking to my computer so I can see people's comments as opposed to my phone. So, hello everybody. So just Michael dropped the comment, hashtag live. All right, so here we go. Olive oil, folks, olive oil. when you go to the grocery store and you go to a big box store, chances are you're going to get ripped off from olive oil. The problem is most people buy olive oil based upon price. When you go to the store, you buy olive oil based upon price, because something that costs $30 for a little jar, as opposed for $30 for a 3 liter, 3 times this amount, the average consumer is going to say, why would I spend $30 on a bottle and when I can spend $30 and get 3 times the amount? That's just the average consumer's mindset. That's how we're wired. This is why grocery stores serve a lot of cheap stuff, because they know that you will totally ditch. There's very, very little loyalty when it comes to these type of stores, because people will drive across town to save 50 cents a pound on something that's $10. They don't equate their time. They just they shop, and it's very aggressive pricing. So if you go into a grocery store, chances are you have a greater chance of getting ripped off. The best place to buy olive oil is going to be from a specialty store that specializes in olive oils and vinegars, right? There's a lot of stores out there that do that. Some stores specifically just do that only. That is one of the best places. Or you go to places like, I used to love to go to Fairway. I know Fairway's going out. I think they're going out of business, Fairway Markets, is what I heard. They're kind of done. But Fairway, if you went to the Fairway in Jersey, you could speak to somebody in the olive oil department there, and it was great because somebody was there that could answer questions for you, you could taste, and it was really a more hands-on approach, like wine. Olive oil should be a hands-on approach like wine. If you like wine and you want to try something interesting, different, get high quality at a good price, then you go to a good wine shop where the owner's there, somebody's there, a qualified salesperson, to talk you through and tell you about where it's from, the varietals, whatever, the flavor profiles, things like that. So that right there is what you're looking for in olive oil. Now, if you go to Consumer Reports has done, I think, probably many studies on this, reports, where if you just walk into the store right now and buy olive oil, stuff that's labeled extra virgin, and then got an analysis on it, you'd find that probably 7 out of 10 of those olive oils are not real 100% extra virgin olive oil. Folks, to make a bottle like this is a liter bottle, to make a bottle like this, now this sells for $30. To make a bottle like this from an olive oil from a vineyard in Italy, all right? They're hand-picked. They have to get picked, hand-picked, pressed right away, and they get processed, right? So to be able to make a bottle like on a vineyard, an olive oil grove, olive oil plantation, I'm not sure if they're called groves or plantation, but most vineyards make olive oil. It costs them almost €5 to put it in the bottle. Almost €5 to put that in the bottle. The bottle, the olive oil, the labor, all that, right? So then by the time they upcharge it, all right, because they need to make money, right? So that €5 goes to, which €5 is really $6, right? So when they send it to then they have to mark it up so they can make money on it. Then it goes to an importer who brings it into the U.S. They need to make money so they can mark it up, right? Then it goes to a distributor who needs to make his 30-40%, right? Then it goes to a store who then they need to make their 30-40%. So you've taken this $6 bottle and now you've exemplified it into $30, right? So that's how that works. That's the real cost of making true olive oil. Olive oil does come more economically from California, from Chile, and from Australia, all right? And the reason why those three regions make more economical olive oils because they do machine harvest. They do a mechanical harvest. There's 2 types of olives. There's the heirloom varietals, which grow in the old world in Spain and Greece and Italy. These are the big trees, all right? These are the big trees. There's no machines to go on top of these and harvest these. They lay down nets, and they go there and pick, and what falls in the nets, they pick up and they press. In the New World, California, Chile, and Australia, they do hybridized olive trees. They're not the real full heirloom strain. It's a hybridized model, which is why these oils are not as pungent or as flavorful. So what these trees do is these trees are much shorter. They're 6 feet tall. So they have now machines that are over-the-top harvesters, which can run right down the row. And if you look at an olive oil grove in Napa or California versus one in Italy, 2 totally different landscapes, okay, of how big the trees are, how spaced out the trees are, how old the trees are. Totally different things, totally different way to process them. So they can run a machine right up and down the lanes in California, in Chile, and in Australia, and harvest very quickly and press very quickly. The advantage of doing that is they're going to pick it quicker. Like in Australia, they've got this down to such a science and a system that they pick it and press it by the time it hits the end of the row. One of the better quality, what makes olive oil better is as soon as you pick the olive off the tree, it starts oxidizing. The more oxidation you have, the longer period of time you have, the worse quality oil you're going to get. You want to get them pressed as soon as they're getting picked, which is why some of these co-ops take these olives and they get shipped to then a processing plant. They're not processing on the actual grove or vineyard that they're getting picked in. So you have a time lapse. All right. So if you were to go in, for example, to the store and buy Bertolli or any of those big brands, Colavita, Bertolli owns no olive trees. Bertolli is a bottler. They're a brand. They buy bulk olive oil in tanker loads that come from Greece, Spain, possibly Italy, throughout Africa, Tunisia. They buy these tankers. They come into Milan. Okay, so they get shipped into the bay there. They get shipped into Milan, and it's all kinds of mixed, so-called mixed extra virgin olive oils. Now they don't have control of what's happening in Tunisia or wherever else or in all these other countries. They don't know if it's getting mixed with hazelnut oil, sunflower oil, getting a little chlorophyll added to it. Because again, to make true olive oil, it's $100 a gallon purchase. If you wanted to buy the real deal olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, it's $100 a gallon is the real cost of it. So this is why olive oil is an item that is often falsified. It's an often fraudulent product. The higher you get in products and their money, the easier it is to make them fraudulent. Because, let's face it, nobody wants to go to the store and say, I'm going to buy a $100 gallon of olive oil. Nobody would want to do that. They're like, $100, I can spend my money on something better. So let me spend, $25 on olive oil in a 3 liter. It says extra virgin. I'm trusting Bertolli. And Bertolli has great intentions. These companies have great intentions, but they're in a system where they're based upon price point, and that's it. The first way to save money on olive oil, folks, the very first way to save money on olive oil is do not cook with it. You do not cook with extra virgin olive oil. Do not cook with any olive oil. Then the only olive oil you buy is extra virgin, and you season with it. It's a seasoning oil. Do not cook. You cook with avocado oil, coconut oil, unrefined, unfiltered sunflower oil. Those are the oils that you cook with. Macadamia nut oil. You do butter. You do not cook with extra virgin olive oil. And extra virgin olive oil is the only oil you buy. Extra virgin is where they take the olives, they cold press them, they press them, expeller press them, cold press them, stone press them, however they press them, and it's the very first dripping, the very first pressing. Once those all that runoff comes off, then they have what's left is this pulp, right? The pomace, the pulp. What they need to do from there is they need to then extract more. So they heat it, they throw hexane gas on it, which makes all the oil drop out, and that goes into pomace oil or lampante, pomace oil, pure olive oil, these blended olive oils. And what they do is, because this oil is not fit for human consumption, they take a little bit of the extra virgin and they pour a little bit into the vat and balance out the acidity and advertise it as pure or pomace. Do not consume those oils. Those oils have hexane gases. They're not fit for consumption. Pomace oil, also called lampante oil, is lamp oil. It's fuel oil. All right, that's what Italians would do with lampante, with pomace oil. It's fuel. They know you take the first pressing, but they sell the pure stuff. Now the pure olive oil, the pomace oil is a big business, and it's gotten that threshold. But on a small vineyard, they're not doing that practice. They're pressing the grapes, and that's what they're getting. I've been on many vineyards in Italy. I've seen the olive harvest. I was there again last year for olive harvest and some of the wine harvest. That's the story with that. All right. So let me just see some more comments that are coming in. Let's see. United Olive Oil Import Company creates high quality olive oils and other Sicilian products. Yep, I have not heard of them, but that sounds great. Thanks for putting out this information out there. I wish more people knew. People need to know about this stuff, because a lot of us just have no idea what we're buying in the store. And a lot of us spend good money on stuff and just have no idea, and are getting ripped off with things. And it's not our fault. It's just because we trust what stores have. Like, why would we ever question what a store would be selling if it's fraudulent or not? But olive oil, folks, is the big problem with. Now I'm going to drop another couple tips on how to buy the best and how to store it. So don't cook with olive oil. Olive oil is so fragile. It's a volatile oil. It's not heat resistant. In fact, once you open this bottle here, you get this into the refrigerator, into a dry, cool space, refrigerator, and no light is what you do with this right away when you open this, okay? Because olive oil will start turning rancid oxidizing from as soon as you open this. Air starts getting in the bottle, you're gonna start the breakdown process. Now imagine if you wanna speed that breakdown process up, you heat up a pan on medium to high heat, and you pour this in, and you sit there and you watch it transform, and once it hits its smoke point, it's totally done. But if you want to speed up the oxidation process and rancidify your oil, you put it on heat and crank it up, and within a couple of minutes, you've taken what would take a couple of months or it's half a year to actually do in a pan instantly like that, all right? So do not cook with olive oil. Cook with those other oils I mentioned with. And the less oil you can cook with, the better off you are. All oils are refined product. All oils refined. It's not natural for us to go out there and basically eat, 3, 4, 5 pounds of olives to get that much fat in our diet. It's not a natural thing to begin with. So whatever oil you're cooking with, even, you shouldn't abuse and be like, I can deep fry anything because it's a great oil. It's high heat resistant. Marcus said, or the back of the label says high heat resistant. Folks, oil is one of those things that should be limited consumption. Not high quality fat. High quality fat and oil are two different things because it's refined. It's just like when they refine sugar. They refine sugar, they take the enzymes and the fiber off, and then they cook it out, and you have a refined product. So oils are still technically a refined product because we don't have the mechanisms to consume oil like that because we just couldn't break down olives like that. So olive oil has seasons. The harvest in the northern hemisphere is in the fall. The southern hemisphere is in the spring. So we have a northern hemisphere oil and we have a southern hemisphere oil here, which is organic Chilean, certified organic. By the way, he makes certified organic too as well, which we could bring in. It's a smaller bottle, same price. I figured I'd give our guests two options of a New World, little milder, certified organic olive oil, and an early harvest. So this guy, they grow organic on their property. They do have a certified organic line. So this is an early harvest. It's pungent. It's sharp. It's like, if you like olive oil and like big flavored olive oils, that's the olive oil you want. So we have these two olive oils that we sell here. So this olive oil has seasons. When you see the expiration date on a bottle of olive oil, it's for 2 years. It's 2 years. So if it says expires or good until September 2022, it was just harvested, September 2020. If it says good until September 2021, you know it already has a year on it. That was picked 2019. All right, so that's how it goes, 2 years. They have a standard 2-year shelf life on them. So if you go to a place like TJ Maxx or Marshall's or Burlington Coat Factory, and you get in the aisle there, and you're getting ready to pay in line, and you see olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, $9.99, and it's a big bottle like this, I can guarantee you the reason why it's there is because the expiration date is getting. You're going to look at the bottle and say, oh, it's good for another 6 months. 6 months is nothing, folks. It's already sat there for a year and a half in the bottle. All right, you want to buy the freshest possible. A lot of olive oil fanatics that are into this will go northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, and they'll look at the expiration dates very, very carefully. Now, once you buy this oil, keep it in a cool, dry place, dark place. The best place, folks, is the refrigerator. The refrigerator is the best single place to actually keep your olive oil, all right? Buy it and even keep it in there before you. A reputable olive oil distributor will house the product in a climate control, just like wine, and ship it climate control even across the ocean when it's getting shipped. Climate control. Years ago, there was a great olive oil company in New York City that I was buying when I worked at the Country Club, and they would send us these amazing olive oils. And olive oils were shipped frozen from Italy. They were frozen and shipped like that to preserve the highest quality of them. And in fact, the buffalo mozzarella that we get now is shipped to us frozen. It's made in Campania. It's made, packaged, and frozen right at the plant, right at the producer, and then shipped across frozen. And we defrost it, and it's amazingly fresh buffalo mozzarella made from water buffalo milk. So another thing on olive oil, make olive oil fun, experiment. Go to a place that will let you taste the olive oils. Go to a place that will let you taste the olive oils, and you can pick out 2 or 3 different olive oils. Because again, it's a seasoning oil. If you're cooking steak that night, bingo. If you're cooking salmon that night, there you go. If you're making risotto with mushrooms, you might want a different olive oil to finish it with, or drizzle on it. Have several different olive oils where it's like wine. I feel like this olive oil tonight because of the flavor profile, because it goes well with your eating. And a good olive oil store, and there's several of them in the Hudson Valley. There's one in Beacon, there's one in Warwick, there's one in New Paltz. I'm sure there's more out there. I'm sure I'm missing. These places will help you. I'm not even sure if they're open right now, considered essential or not, olive oil. Olive oil should be considered essential, folks. If olive oil were to be invented today, it'd probably be the top 5 therapeutic things you could ingest and put into your body. Olive oil. It has been used for years and years as a medicinal. Naturopaths, alternative doctors, alternative medical doctors, MDs, know the power of high quality olive oil. They know the healing power it has. Olives are a fruit. They are loaded with polyphenols. So when you're drinking or consuming olive oil, you're basically getting the fresh pressed juice from a fruit is what you're getting. All right. The oil is the life of that olive. All right. So you have to think of it like that. I'm consuming olive juice is what I'm consuming, not an oil that's, the problem with oils, folks, is oils have no protein. So when you get rancid oil, you can't smell that it's rancid because there's no protein in it. Now, if you owned a restaurant or you had old fryer oil and you fried chicken at home and fish and chips at home, if you fried in an oil at home and you had a little fryer, or if you're in a restaurant and the oil starts smelling, and like, Marcus, the oil smells. What do you mean there's no protein? Folks, you've already fried chicken wings in it, fish, you fried all these things, and those things stay in the oil. Those don't just dissipate out of the oil. So that's what you smell. It's the rancidity of the foods that you've been cooking in the oil, okay? All oil that is processed. So you buy stuff that's highly processed in the store. It goes through like 7 stages. One of the stages is they take the oil and they basically cook it and turn this oil brown, because that stabilizes it. Then they deodorize it, so they take all the odors that it would have out. They deodorize it. Like the sunflower oil that we use, if you open it up and smell it, it smells like sunflowers. If you take commercially produced sunflower oil and open it up and smell it, you won't smell sunflower because it deodorized. They deodorize it, they bleach it, and they bring it back to this clear state after they've already cooked the thing and made it toxic, because that's how it's shelf stable. That's the longest way it's going to last on the shelf and look good on the shelf. If you look at our sunflower oil that we use to cook with here in the kitchen, you'll see that it's got a little bit of cloudiness to it because it's unfiltered, unfined. It's pure. It's pressed. It goes through the filtration process in the machine, but it doesn't go through any centrifuging or anything else like that, or any kind of filtration process. That's what they squeeze out of this machine. And Jamie and I have been there. We took the staff there to watch them press our sunflower oil. That's not the stuff you buy in the stores. By the way, our sunflower oil is available in the stores, not to contradict that, but it's a small producer here in the Hudson Valley cold pressed. You can find their stuff in Adams. We buy it in bulk. We should get some small bottles for people. We do have small bottles of avocado oil to cook with. The sunflower oil is amazing. The nuttiness, the sunflower flavors on it. It's like literally like opening up sunflower seeds and smelling them, those fresh aromas of sunflower. All right, folks, that's it for now. Let's see if there's any more comments here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My cousin Gina. So if you can't afford expensive olive oils, what do you suggest? Olive oil, buy a good bottle for $30. Good bottle for $30, and you use it to season. Do not cook with it at all. Do not cook with it. It's a waste. Do not cook with pomace oil. Do not cook with pure olive oil. Those are not fit for consumption. They have to add extra virgin olive oil into it so it balances out the acidity. Those oils are not good. They're not good at all. So what you do is you season, and if you get a strong oil like this goes a long way. You don't need to use as much of this oil as you would of another cheap olive oil, so-called extra virgin olive oil. So, folks, your health is on the line when you buy food. Everything that you put into your body, eating is one of the most intimate things you ever do, and you do it every single day. When the food you put into your body assimilates into it, it becomes you. You are what you eat. Eating is a very intimate thing. You eat junk food, lowers your immune system. You eat high quality food, your body likes that, okay? Your body knows if you're eating a donut or if you're eating an apple. Your body just knows the difference, okay? On a cellular level, the donut enters your body, and it's like, okay, these cells are like, okay, here comes the toxins. Let's get on reserve. Here comes the sugar. Here comes the trans fats. Here comes the white flour. Your white blood cells. Your army gets ready. We have a foreign invader coming in. You eat something like an apple, like an organic apple. Your body understands, hey, this is food that we can actually grow on. And the reality is, your body is we're never in homeostasis, right? We're either on a cellular level, we're growing or dying. Anything you put into your body, thoughts in your mind, things you put into your body, food, water, your body knows to react on a cellular level, good or bad. It's not going to say, okay, so dietitians will tell us, dietitians are famous for this, doctors are famous for this too. Oh, moderation, it's okay. It's okay if you, moderation, right? Now, that's just how we justify eating bad food, is moderation. Oh, I'm going to eat, fried food once a week, or, this is on a cellular level, if I were to eat donuts right now, and I would eat donuts once a month, my cells don't know moderation. My cells know, hey, it's life or death at this point. They're not saying, oh, Marcus is doing moderation today, guys. Let's just forget about all the junk he's putting into his body. Your cells know that on a cellular level. They know life or death. It's either something growing them or something destroying them. So spend the extra money on high-quality food, that is going to nourish your body, especially now. Your immune system. This is the narrative right now is not immune system in the media. The media is not talking about building your immune system. But I read another study by Dr. Lee Scott, how so many deaths could have been avoided by doing larger doses or doses of vitamin D in nursing homes. Something that simple, but this is not part of the dialogue. And this is a peer-reviewed, published in a medical journal, the whole thing, bona fide study that any medical doctor to pick up and say, hey, here you go. If you go to PubMed, you'll find things about building your immune system. You go to all these sites, National Institute, you'll find things on how to build your immune system. And unfortunately, they're not teaching us that right now in the mainstream media narrative. It's not about that. Well, that's the tartlets?
Those are the tartlets.
So here's Jamie's bourbon tartlets that she just made for the bourbon tasting. So that's Saturday night, folks. So $25 or $45. You get bourbon, rye, and a kit to make a Manhattan at home. You do a virtual tasting with us on Zoom. You get the link. And then we have a musician on. We hang out for an hour and a half. Peter Peabody is on. He is the producer, the bottler of Mr. Peabody whiskeys. He has a lot of other cool whiskeys as well, flavored whiskeys, but our house whiskey is his rye and his bourbon. Really, really cool stuff. Good stuff and a great value too. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I see Denny dropped a comment. Hi, Denny. Lily says, I guess to your bourbon chocolate walnut tarts, Jamie. I see Carlos on. Hello, chef. How are you? Dan's on. Carlos and I worked together at the Greenbrier in West Virginia in the early to mid 90s. We're actually roommates, and we worked at the Greenbrier and learned a lot about food, about cooking. So Carlos is a fellow chef. Carlos was living in Colorado for a while. After I moved out of Colorado, Carlos moved to Colorado. Was a chef at the Cheyenne Mountain Conference Center, the executive chef there. And Carlos, where are you at now? Just drop a comment of where you're at now. I'm assuming you're in Florida. I'm assuming where you are, where it's warm. So Carlos has always been a tropical person. Hi Heidi, thanks for tuning in. All right, folks, I got to do a couple errands and run out, and Jamie's going to finish her tartlets. This video is all about not getting scammed on olive oil. Spend the extra money, get good stuff, don't cook with it. 2-year expiration date on these, so buy things that are the closest to 2 years as possible. Follow the seasons, Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. Talk about the difference of New World versus Old World, heirloom versus hybridized olive plants, how they harvest them, the real cost of olive oil. Folks, the real olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, should cost you $100 a gallon in the store. That's the real price of it. The 3-liter stuff for 20 bucks is a scam. It's very cheaply produced. Some of it has synthetics in it. Some of it has real chlorophyll. Some of it has hazelnut oil, sesame oil, other oils in it that fill it. And you look at the studies, you look at the reports, consumer reports, you look at all these investigative things on olive oil, and you'll find that 6 out of 10 times you're going to get scammed if you're buying extra virgin olive oil in a big box store. Go to a small store, have somebody taste them on you, experiment, and have fun with olive oils. Again, it is one of the most nutritious things you can put into your body. One of the top 5 therapeutic things. If it were to be invented today, it has loaded with polyphenols. It's a fruit. You're drinking fresh pressed olive fruit juice is what you're drinking. So
Mention bread.
bread alone bread is here.
Just came in.
Bread alone bread just came in. 3 huge boxes. I mentioned earlier about the sourdough miche. It is all called whole wheat now. So if you see miche, that's the same thing. They got their 12-grain baguettes in. We have beautifully ripe avocados in. I just had avocados for breakfast. They are amazing. They made the best avocado. I just mushed avocados this morning, put a little Tabasco in it and some salt, and that was it. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful breakfast. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Our email's coming out with our full grocery list. Ribeye steaks and strip steaks. We have them right now, but we won't have them. We're not sure what's happening. Our supplier for the grass-fed stuff, they are totally out. I wanted to get some today. I wanted to get some on Monday. I can't get any. What I have in house is it until maybe 2 weeks, a week and a half. We're not sure. Chicken, I can only get it every other day. I buy it and it's out of stock. I buy it, it's out of stock. So if you can stock up on anything like that, stock up on it. Salmon, we have plenty of supply on salmon. But the problem is salmon comes in frozen, the halibut, all this comes in frozen, the tuna. The problem with that is I don't have enough freezer space to buy 50 cases or 80 cases or 100 cases of salmon. We literally are still selling, 20 cases a week, Jamie, of fish? 20, 25 cases a week of fish.
We have halibut, and
we have black
cod.
cod, salmon, some 40 pounds of salmon came in yesterday. My freezers are filled, and then the freezers get depleted, and then they get filled again. So it's a cycle that I have to plan 2 orders a week for fish deliveries, so I don't overflow. It's frozen product. So that's the story with that. All right, folks, I got to get going. We'll talk to you later. Check out Jamie's live at 4 o'clock today. Jamie's Facebook Live, happy hour with Jamie. Yesterday she did a Manhattan. What are you doing today, Jamie? Or is it a surprise?
I don't know.
Surprise.
I'll take suggestions.
Here in New York, it's beautiful. I'm going to run my errands, and then I'm going to go for a bike ride.
It's like 80 degrees.
Yeah. You going on a bike ride with me?
Maybe.
Okay. Let's get our work done. All right, folks. Talk to you later.